HTML attributes. HTML attributes provides additional information about the HTML element. So all the HTML elements here can have attributes. Where we can have these attributes are always specified in the start in the tag. Let's start with the first the attribute. The first tag here, it needs an attribute. It's called the anchor tag. It defines a hyperlink. So the href attribute. So the href attribute specifies the URL of the page the link goes to. And closing tag, and in the first tag here we can specify our href attribute. And this href attributes, as you know, it must have like a URL. And in our case, let's make just a simple one, like for example a Google URL. So let's copy this URL from here and paste it here also. And between this tag, the content will be like, for example, a link to be visited, like visit Google. Alright, save it, and here it will pops up like a URL that is like a clickable link that it will go in with your URL that you are specifying. So easy, yeah. So this next attribute will be the source attribute, and that one is always, it will be in the image. The image here, tag here is a self-closed, so we don't need a closing tag for the image. And also it will contain the source attribute, like I will explain to you here. So the image tag is used to embed an image in an HTML page. So the source attribute specifies the path to the image to be displayed. There are two ways to specify the URL in the source attribute. But first of all, let's import an image. You can import whatever image that you want. In my case here, let's bring one from my desktop here. So I will import it here. Just drag and drop it from your computer and post it here. In my case, it's my image here, my personal image. So let's add it here in the HTML page. As I told you, the two ways we can specify the URL in the source attribute here. So we can do it with the absolute URL. So links to an external image that is hosted in another website. Example. So it will be always with the the whole path, like this one, start HTTPS and the path / and the path in the internet domain. And another one we are going to use is the relative URL, links to an image that is hosted within the website here in our project. So the URL does not include the domain name. You can just specify it here with the / and the image if it's in the same level of the font. That's it. Let's save it and see in our page, in our website page here. Oops, save it, and here we go. It's showing here, but I think it's too big. Let's do some style on it, and let's resize a bit with the width and the height properties of the CSS inside in our starting tag. That it's allowed in the HTML. We can do this like with the width, and make it like 300 for the width, and the height will be let's make it, for example, a 400. Save it, and here we go. Now it's been resized again. So another attribute also must in the image tag also is the alt attribute, and this one, the alt attribute, is for the image tag, specifies an alternative text for an image. So if the image for some reason cannot be displayed, this can be due to the slow connection or an error in the source attribute, or if the user uses a screen reader. So here, let's do, for example, just my image, for example. And if anything happens in the URL of the image, for example, it will show in here the alternative text. So that's it for the alt attribute. And now let's go dive a bit into the style attribute. So we have another attribute called style. Is used to add styles to an element such as color, font, size, and many more. So for our header here, the hello world, that we want to add the style and specify for the color property here with the color column, and inside it let's make it red, for example. The color will be red. Save it and see in our page. Here we go. Our title now, or our heading here, it's in the red. So the color changes with the style attribute. So let's summarize the attributes here. As you know, the href attribute of an anchor specifies the URL of the page that links goes to. So the source attribute here of the image specifies the path to the image to be displayed. And for the width and the height of the image provide the size information for the image. And for the alt attribute here of the image provides an alternative text for an image if any error happens to the image itself. And finally, the style here attribute is used to add styles to an element such as color, font, size, and many more. And there is also a tons of attributes that I will leave the link in the description, so make sure to check it in the MDN documentation in the below here. So it will contain all of the attributes that you can ever imagine in the HTML here.